What's up, guys? Welcome back to the show. Sorry for the hiatus there. Been traveling a bit throughout the summer. I have been recording episodes here and there. Just haven't had time to finally put it together. So here is a really special episode with my old friend Stephen Kaplan, aka Kaptain. We recorded this back at his house in Colorado in July. I've known Stephen for about 20 years. We grew up together in New Jersey and always been passionate about music. He was in marching band, played a bunch of instruments, and I've seen him sort of progress and blossom and really put the work in to become an extremely talented, skilled electronic music performer and producer. I've seen him live a few times around the country at different festivals and shows, and really, really proud of him. He just released this video back in July called Kaptain live at Spectra Art Space, which is at a really, really cool, unique, trippy venue in Denver. Recorded a full, 30-minute set showcasing all his various abilities in performing on the keyboards. He's pressing all these crazy buttons. It's awesome. I'm going to share a quick trailer before we get into the full interview, and the full link to the full set will be in the notes. So thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoy this conversation with my old friend Stephen on music, art, and life. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Heating Up Podcast. I'm here with my good friend, Stephen Kaplan, a.k.a. Kaptain. For those who don't know, he's an electronic music producer who's performed at festivals around the country like Sonic Bloom and Gem and Jam. He's open for acts like Break Science, one of my favorites, Manic Focus, Michael Maynard, Vincent Antone. He's done some pretty light official after parties. And he just released a long-form live performance that I got a sneak preview of, which was dope. Sunday, they just did a live stream on Twitch, which was really cool. It's called Kaptain live at Spectra Art Space.
That's it.
And it's available everywhere on YouTube. I mean, as of this recording, which is Tuesday, July 15th, this will probably go out at some point in the next few weeks. So if you're listening to this, it is out now. So first of all, congrats on this piece of work, piece of art. Really showcases your skills really well, and congrats, man.
Thanks. Appreciate it. Yeah. Turns out it's a lot more than 30 minutes of effort to put together a 30-minute video of yourself performing.
Yeah.
It was I'm really happy. It feels good it feels good to release anything out in the wild, but I feel like lately I've been kind of like quietly working on a lot of stuff, and now I'm kind of at this point where I can put it out, and this is one of the bigger pieces that I can put out now, and so it's fun to be in this part of the process.
Yeah, would you say this is one of the biggest things you've put out, one of the biggest projects you've had in your musical career?
Yeah, I mean, I think like releasing EPs or multi-track collections of songs or whatever, feel like a big effort, especially because you try to promote it and there's a lot that goes along with it and whatnot. But I think that given that it is it's not something I have done a lot. I've more so released audio.
Yeah.
I've tried to get into the social media game. You have to try to play that game. So I've filmed some things and edited some things. And I even like in 2020, like right before COVID, put out this thing called Kaptain Live Sessions, which was me with like a band doing like fully live versions of 3 of my tracks.
Yeah.
But like the amount of investment, both like time, money, working with like more of a production crew than just like one dude with a camera.
Yeah.
And like having like an editor and all that kind of stuff. I feel like it's one of the most like kind of professional or sort of like ambitious, well thought out, well planned out. Like it really feels like a culmination of a lot of like everything I've learned about performing and making content and producing audio, and music and stuff.
Yeah, so, man, it's really dope. I think it showcases your skills well, because I know you feel this, like there's a lot of electronic music out there and there's a lot of DJs out there, and you try not, you don't put yourself in that category. You're certainly in the category of producer, but sometimes, they get lumped together. But if you watch this video, it does not look easy. You have all these buttons. You got keyboards. I can see the keyboards in your studio here. You got the little bleep bloop buttons with the different pre-programmed
Bleep, bloop
sounds.
buttons. Yep,
You're
that's what they're
doing
called.
live singing on this one, which is a new thing that you added recently with the auto
Yeah,
tune.
yeah. I mean, live singing is a little bit generous, but it is pretty
Live vocals.
Yeah.
Live vocals.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot going on. I don't know. Is there a question there?
No, I'm just kind of just having a conversation.
Yeah.
I was saying, it seems like, it's a really good showcase of your abilities and the show that you put on, which is not no disrespect to DJs, but it's going beyond. It is live performance with using electronic music, inspired by your history of piano and all the live percussion, all the training you've got your whole life.
Yeah. So first of all, I have a lot to say about that. One, we love our DJs.
Yes. Shout out. Just, I don't know. The cake. I don't know.
I'm going to pretend you didn't say
that.
Okay. I mean, even no disrespect to Steve Aoki, that's just not what I had in my mind when I thought about a DJ.
It's the first one that came to mind.
I always think, in my head, I always think of something a little bit headier, like Fortet or Floating Points or something.
Okay.
I don't know why that's what my mind goes to.
And even all those guys are producers too, right?
And they also have live shows.
So
anyway, the point is that no disrespect to DJs. DJing is awesome. I like still kind of want to have some kind of side project or something where I'm just on CDJs like mixing tracks.
Yeah.
But and then like you can catch me at so many shows like in Denver and elsewhere where it's just CDJs or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I love DJs. I just have chosen to go a different route. And it's ultimately like there's a few reasons. One of the most simple reasons why I want to be doing so much is because I just feel awkward when I'm just standing there not doing something.
Yeah.
And by the way, there's an art to that. Like, and there's nothing wrong with the fact that when DJs are mixing tracks, like that you're just jamming out and stuff. I think I like to be like kind of have my hands on some part of the song, whether it's like a lead synth or like some chords or some sample triggering stuff. Like I just want to be like involved in the sound at most points. So yeah, it's just like a choice. It's just what I want to do, and I have a lot of fun with it. It ends up being honestly a lot more work, so you get what you pay for in that way. But I think it's worth it. But yeah, you mentioned a couple of things. One of the things you mentioned was like singing.
Vocals.
I was a good singer before the age of like what's 8th grade?
13.
Yeah, so
you were the lead in the play.
Play. So
I still remember.
that was a different era in my music.
Era, very different era.
But before, literally, my singing voice got. Can I curse on this one?
Yeah.
My singing voice got shitty. When my voice changed.
Oh.
And so basically, it was like the end of 8th grade. I was still doing like choir and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And my voice was starting to crack, and I was like, I feel like I'm near the end. And then I didn't want to do singing in high school. I didn't do like any of that kind of stuff. So basically, once my voice changed, I never practiced singing, and then I completely lost it.
Oh, interesting.
My sense of pitch and my sense of like hearing pitch and sight reading, and even like being able to like there's something in music theory called an interval. It's like the distance between notes. Like I can like my brain works in that way.
Yeah.
But my singing voice sucks, honestly. And so what I decided to do is I decided to throw like a crap load of effects on my voice. For the producers out there, Spectral Resonator and Ableton, tune it to the pitch of the song and play with the dry wet. To kind of evoke sort of like or create like a robotic sort of
Daft Punk type.
That's the inspiration. Also, I'm a huge Pretty Lights fan, and he's been doing in a couple of songs this thing where he sort of sings, but then there's like synthesizer chords, like a vocoder kind of happening underneath his voice, so it sounds like he's like singing multiple notes at once. So this is like this is like some version of a tried and true thing that probably used to be some kind of piece of hardware, not just in software. But I've been having fun like realizing that like I can use my voice as an instrument. So I see it more as another synthesizer, not I'm singing.
And Kanye was big on that too. If you listen to Yeezus and all those albums, he's in the end of Runaway. He's using his he distorts his voice to almost sound like an electric guitar, which is like such a
Yeah,
unique,
amazing. It's like, yeah, I love all that stuff, and you know all that music was a huge
of
influence on me,
course.
especially
Yeah.
when I was in high school. And so yeah, I mean, I'm not breaking any new ground here,
Yeah.
but I realized that I could do that, and I
Yeah.
could do my own version of
It
it,
adds an element to
and
your
it's
live performance.
and like all you need is a mic and a chain of effects and
Right.
software, and like all of a sudden you have another instrument you can use.
Yeah.
Anyway, I digress, but
No, it's not a
yeah,
digression.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
literally
yeah,
why
yeah.
we're here.
Yeah.
So how does this like mechanically work? Because obviously there's like a backing track for the full 30 minutes. So you have
Yeah.
every set. There's not like a DJ set where you may be doing something. You know
Ye-
exactly which song is going at which moment, and then you're playing all the instruments and the vocals on top of that, right?
Yeah, so you know, everyone goes like, "Oh, is a DJ actually mixing blah blah blah
Yeah.
blah." I've done every version of I used to DJ when I was younger, like, and then I've gone through
Frat
every
parties, yep.
iteration of that, but even like into the electronic space and
Yeah.
stuff. Like I feel like my earliest sets as Kaptain were with like a controller,
Decks,
like
yeah.
a DJ controller. But yeah, I've gone through kind of every iteration of it, and what I realized is that, especially listening to different podcasts and reading about how like a band like Rufus Du Sol does that, it's
Yeah.
like
They're
they are
playing-
performing, they're
Yes.
playing instruments, they're singing, they're doing everything. But the reality is that they also have a team behind the scenes that's queuing up the like foundation of the song for
Right,
them.
for sure.
And so,
Odessa does that as well.
yeah, exactly.
A
Like
lot.
the big, especially the big shows
Yeah.
that involve a lot of visuals and fireworks. You know,
Bands,
we're not
yeah.
doing that, but
Yeah.
like
Not
but,
yet.
well, I don't know how I feel about fireworks.
yeah.
But I feel
We'll
like it's
see.
kind of a little bit a little bit excessive.
Yeah.
But
Maybe it's not your brand, fireworks.
yeah,
That's fair.
yeah. I don't know. I've never thought about that. Like, if I had the budget, would I do it? Also, pyro, like, cool
That's a
if it's
whole
like a metal
different-
band, but I've seen some electronic acts use pyro, and sometimes it makes sense, and sometimes I'm just like, why is there fire? Like, this is not the vibe.
Yeah.
But people seem to
Yeah.
react.
It gets a reaction.
Yeah, yeah. It's nice when you're at like a winter festival and they have
Yeah,
pyro.
that's literally actually nice to like warm your hands against.
But
So you have the
yeah.
base layer.
So there is a foundational layer that is consistent when I put together a set. And sometimes there's allowance for like jamming and things like that, but yeah, the way that I did this video in particular, just because it was such a production, is I had a foundational layer. Then there's a lot going on top of that that's in my control. So like, for instance, the way the tracks transition exactly, including like the effects and like what amount of track is mixing into what amount of track, sort of like the DJ transitions, if you will, that's something that I have control over. So there's this little like 16 like they're calling coders, but like 16 knob thing called a MIDI fighter that I have programmed, and like the red buttons are for track A and the blue. I literally bought color coded caps to do this for the things, and the blue ones are for like track B. And so when a track is queued up in Ableton automatically, I can decide like what I want to use to transition it into the next one, like what kind of effects, and that can be different every time. I also have something called an Ableton Push 2, which very versatile instrument, and I'm kind of underutilizing it in this video. You can literally do an entire set and like play notes and play samples and also DJ and like launch clips, and it does a lot. But just for the sake of this set, I have it programmed like so that like there's like 64 pads, and like many of them are assigned to different samples, sounds, clips, cuts, things like that. And so that ends up being sort of like a sample finger drumming thing. In front of me, I have like a MIDI keyboard that is connected to this whole suite of synthesizers. And I spent like a lot of time programming the set so that basically, you know, in one song, I might play 3 or 4 different patches or 3 or 4 different instruments. Like it might go from organ to
from the
this
same
synth
keyboard
to this. But what I've done is on the timeline, I've programmed so that I can keep playing, and at the right time, it changes.
Oh,
to
it's
the
automatic.
instrument.
You're not pressing a button setting. It's just automatic.
Well, yes and no. So I still have the ability, if I want in certain parts, to set it to whatever I want. But there's at any given time, there's a default that I can fall back on. And anyway, should I keep explaining this?
Sure. Yeah. Let's
go.
Yeah. I like hearing about it.
All right. So Yeah, so that's like the thing in front of me. It can play any number of synthesizer sounds, like digital instruments, etc. And that's the thing I'm probably playing the most, I would say, just because it's so versatile. And then on the right of me, I have it's actually sitting right there. My Moog Subsequent 37, which is a hardware synth. And that is included in certain parts of my set. I also have it programmed where I can send a signal from my computer to the synthesizer through MIDI. Um, uh, and who's fallen asleep yet? And basically have the sounds and the patches, it's called, change on that automatically. Now on top of that, I also can set to the timeline the different like effect settings, almost like a guitar pedal,
Yeah.
but digitally to what's being applied to what in each
Yeah.
instrument. And so the work of setting up this set
Yeah.
is not just like practicing the parts and
Yeah.
learning the things and performing it. It's also literally, and I'm a software engineer
Yeah.
by day.
Yep.
It's literally programming a performance.
Yeah, for sure.
And I kind of like patted myself on the back because bigger groups, like they literally hire a team of
Yeah.
people or at least one person to do all of this programming for them. They're in charge of the creative vision and the music and stuff, but like I kind of was doing, not on the film and the editing side, but I kind of was doing everything as far as the music
Yeah.
production was concerned.
How
Anyway,
long was this cooking? Like how long from the first idea to like the final edit? Was it like many
yeah.
months?
So, okay, I forget exactly what month it was, but I want to say it was probably either like first like the very beginning of 2025 or maybe the end of 2024. I okay, so even further back. Jacob Butler, what's up? He is a guy who is in charge of this charity stream that goes on once or twice a year called Keep the Dream Alive. And he'd been asking me a lot, and I kind of been like, I don't know, I have other projects I'm working on. I don't know if I have time for this, but let me know next time. And we did that maybe 3 or 4 times or something or more, and finally, I ran into him uh at a show at Cervantes in Denver. It's a music venue, and I think he brought it up again, and I was kind of like, something finally clicked. And in the back of my head, I'd always wanted to do sort of a high production, like, not quite
Showcase?
circle, but
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
one of
So yeah,
those
we
kind
love
of
circle.
YouTube channels, like that really is the really nicely produced performance videos. I've always wanted to do that, and something just clicked, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this for myself as something I release on my own, but I'm going to use this charity live stream
Yeah.
on Twitch as the motivation to
Yeah.
get this together.
It gives you a timeline too, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Nothing like a real deadline.
Exactly. So then that probably, man, I can't remember when that was, but that was there was obviously the idea in the back of my head, but that was kind of the thing where I was like, okay, let's do this. And then I knew about this production company called Organic Society that had worked with a couple of friends of mine, Pfeiffer and Vincent Antone,
Sure.
and a bunch of other artists that I know, to make similar types of videos. And I knew that they were kind of they sort of had released a bunch of videos, and then they kind of were retooling, built a new team, and they wanted to up their production level. So it was just the perfect timing.
Yeah.
I hit them up. And so Organic Society, Noah Katz, what's up? They were down.
Yeah.
And so that team
This is also bigger production for them than they're usually doing, would you say?
I
Or
would
this is
say
like
it was a fun project for them
Yeah.
because the venue that I picked was
very dope venue.
very cool and like pretty unique, I think.
Yeah.
Even though keep in mind, some of the ones they've shot were, like, for instance, for Vincent Antone, his was on the edge of a rim of a canyon in Utah with
Wow.
like drones and stuff. So
real
I
circle
wouldn't
shit.
say it was like
Yeah.
something that was outside of their comfort zone,
Yeah.
but I would say, as far as doing it in a Spectra Art Space was the name of the space, sort of a mini Meow Wolf is how I like to
Yeah.
describe it.
Very dope space.
Although I think technically they predated Meow Wolf,
Okay.
which is interesting. Shout out Spectra Art Space, but yeah, like I think it was a fun, unique
Yeah.
setting for them, and also a really, I don't know if you can tell in the video, but like in general, not just the space that I'm in, but the entire outdoor like area
Yeah.
that we were in is very tight. So they had to set up cameras in like really tight angles and stuff and get it all done. And I think they did a good job of making it feel a little bigger than it was. But anyway,
Yeah.
I think that answers your
No,
question.
it came out really great, very
Yeah.
professional. When you're performing like that, whether it's for the video or live, how much of it is it having fun and flow, and how much of it is like, I need to keep track of the 17 things that I'm doing because of the technical complexity of your performance?
I would say that, well, what's interesting is even if and I've gotten this kind of constructive criticism a lot, is like, smile a little more,
You
dance
look
a little more.
serious up
Yeah, you
there,
look
yeah.
really serious, and like I think that people think that means I'm not having fun.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's literally like my favorite thing to do is to perform electronic music.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
awesome. I love being locked
You have
in.
resting serious face.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I have resting serious face. Yeah, I mean, this has been a thing for me since I was like, I remember
Yeah.
in high school jazz band, Mr. Kraft.
Yeah, shout out. Low-key fuck Mr. Kraft, but
I didn't say that.
that's okay. It's
We had a
my
good
pocket.
relationship, Mr. Kraft. Hope you're
he
still
can-
crushing it out
He
there.
liked Kenny Shupak way better than me. We played tenor sax next to each other.
He was better at sax.
That's one reason. But the other reason, no, that's the only reason. Kenny was really good at sax. I was not that good, and we'd be fucking around. Kenny Shupak lives 2 blocks away. Shout out.
What up, Kenny? If you can't tell already, Jen and I
went to high school and middle
together,
school.
Yeah.
And we would just be trying to make it like everyone's making each other laugh, and then like one time Kenny laughed so hard he fell off the side of the stage, and Mr. Kraft looked at him, and then he looked at me. He goes, "Why are you being?"
Well, I mean, you are the easy target.
Yeah, and I'm brown. So.
Yeah, well,
actually, our school was mostly brown, so I don't
Yeah,
think the
no.
brownness had much. To
I
do
think
with
that the South Brunswick High School music program was very comfortable with people of Indian descent.
That's I think that's right because it's almost 100% Indian.
Yeah,
probably.
yeah. Okay, I have a good Mr. Kraft getting mad at me
Oh,
story.
please.
Yeah.
That guy
So yeah.
To be fair, before you get into it, we had a top 10 music program maybe in the like our marching band was going to competitions and like
22nd in BOA Grand Nationals 2009.
Yeah.
Drum captain.
Yeah.
Am I
Swimming and
supposed to look at the
swimming.
camera?
Yeah,
Is this
I
bad?
mean, I don't. It's fine.
Yeah,
I don't.
right.
Maybe I'll never release video. I don't know.
Yeah.
The audio's way easier.
Yeah.
I will probably do the video one day, but like we're having a conversation, so we can look at each
As
other.
long as I get my clips.
Yeah, you'll get the full raw uncut video.
All right. So this was probably freshman year of high school, and I was in marching band. Just saying.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Ladies.
marching band was kind of cool.
It was.
It wasn't cool, but it was like
My mom was really sad I didn't do.
It wasn't
that.
like
genuinely really. She was like really sad.
marching band. I wouldn't say it was cool, but it also wasn't a death sentence for your social life.
No,
Yeah.
arguably it was its own social. It was its own social circle.
Yeah.
People were doing stuff.
Yeah.
Band camp.
Yeah, I mean,
All the band camp tropes.
band kids party.
Yeah.
Too.
Does.
Honestly, but I'm probably. Yeah, I'm not gonna exaggerate.
Yeah.
I wasn't that much of a party in high school, but anyway, relatively speaking, at least. But yeah. So it's like one of the football games. The marching band does the football game, plays pep songs or whatever, and then also does their performance at halftime or whatever. And yeah, I was basically fucking around during the national anthem. Can't do that.
No, especially tonight.
Yeah.
The Patriots are fired up on that one.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway.
You're fucking around during the national
personal
anthem. What are you
opinions-
fucking around meaning what? Talking?
Personal opinions aside about if you should or shouldn't fuck around during the national anthem. And anyway, it mattered to Mr. Kraft.
What were you doing?
I was just talking and laughing and bullshitting.
Yeah.
And it was like early in my, it was like, I was like first fall freshman.
Yeah.
Lowly human being.
Yeah. Bottom of the totem pole.
Pledge.
Yeah.
Like a pledge kind of situation.
Sure.
Like, and yeah, anyway, he like pulled me aside and absolutely like chewed me out.
Yeah.
And yeah, and it was really embarrassing because it was in front of a lot of people.
Yeah.
I guess there's not really a punchline to that story, but it felt pretty bad at the time.
No, I mean, those guys, in hindsight, I hated them in the moment, and I actually quit band because I was like, fuck this shit. I wasn't that into it, and I wasn't that good. But they, I think, saw themselves almost like a football coach or sports.
Well,
like
they
treat it like a sport, and that's why they were like, when people aren't taking it serious, a lot of people are fucking around a band because you're sitting there, you're hanging out with your friends. You're not, when you're running and sprinting and shooting, like you got to be a little bit more locked in, I'm sure. But it's very easy to fuck around when you're just sitting there.
Well, at a football game.
Yeah, especially at a football game. Yeah. But those guys were like, no, we treat this like a sport, and like they had like a football coach attitude.
Yeah, it was intense.
And the results, like they were really fucking high quality.
Marching band could be cool. It can be mildly athletic.
Y'all played the Super Bowl? Or you played you played at the Colts Arena or something, right? What was it?
We didn't play the Super Bowl.
I thought our color guard was at the Giants Super Bowl or something. There was something there.
I mean, we've played it. I've like been on the field of NFL
Yeah,
stadiums, but I've
yeah.
never played a Super Bowl.
Okay.
It was just like band competitions
Yeah.
at
For some reason, I
Indianapolis
thought
Colts was one.
the one year was in New York.
We played at MetLife Stadium.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And maybe the old Giants Stadium too before they knocked it down.
Yeah.
Would the timing make sense there?
I mean, maybe you didn't, but I think
Yeah.
SB has been like part of maybe whenever the.
All right, what
Anyways.
really matters is that I have marched down Main Street Disney. Why are we talking about marching?
I don't know.
Honestly,
This is a wild detour. This was not in my notes, which is totally fine.
I mean, it's a podcast.
It's why we're podcasting.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
we're doing. We're doing it live.
I would like to. Marching band was a great experience. It was actually pretty cool. I defend marching band.
Yeah, respect.
And
Yeah, I think we're good.
that's kind of it.
Yeah, I think we're good. I think
let's kind of stop talking.
No, I think we can. Do you have a song that you're proudest of?
Man, you're gonna really give me hard hitting questions.
I can ask a less hard question. I mean, I didn't think.
No, let me think about this.
Yeah.
Oh man.
It could be multiple. Yeah.
I think that the maybe least satisfying answer, but the realistic answer is that more or less each song I make, I think is better than the last one.
No, I think that's
Meaning,
a
like,
fair answer.
my especially like when you're learning, you know, I feel like your skill is the learning curve is very steep, and it's still fairly steep, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't think I've hit my 10,000 hours. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think that it's kind of nice that every few months I feel like this is the one. You know?
Yeah.
And of course, sometimes it resonates with people, and sometimes it doesn't. But I still like the things that I make. You know?
I think that's dope.
Yeah,
I mean, given how technical and unique your music is, I do feel like there's a million different directions you can take it. And there's, especially with the live aspect of the piano, getting your friends to play instruments, guitar, and all that. There's always more layers and levels you can get to it. More so than maybe other genres, where like a rock band, maybe it's like, all right, there's obviously a lot you can do if you're a Radiohead or a Pink Floyd, but they're like with electronic, there's just infinite possibilities.
Yeah, it can be overwhelming at times, honestly. I kind of like have this deep thought where I feel like everything I'm making is sort of just one continuous song that builds off of it.
Yeah.
It just feels like it's all part of the same song in a way.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like doesn't end.
The great song.
And you're like kind of what?
I'm just trying to be deep. Like the great song of your life.
I mean, that's not what I call it.
I don't know.
Why do you let me explain it?
Sorry. I'm just trying I'm trying to give a title to it.
The great song.
No, cancel that. No, not keep going. Sorry. Didn't mean to.
The great song. Great song.
Sounds like a Game of Thrones.
Not everything's Game of Thrones.
Some things are Game. Go on. Just go.
All right. So anyway, it's like a continuous stream of something that you're trying to, like, it's like creativity for me, and like writing music and writing what I feel like is this continuous song at times feels like there's a stream or a river going by, and you kind of dip like a cup or something in it, and you're just like taking something out of it, but it at times really does feel like it's sort of, I'm just pulling from the same source. And I guess that's kind of what drives me to make music. Yeah. Honestly, I've never really thought about it that way. Yeah.
No, I think a lot of artists feel that way, especially like I listen, as you know, a lot of podcasts about comedy and music and creativity. And Judd Apatow talks about his writing process. And he says, sometimes like, I feel like it's not even my story. I'm just like connecting my pipe to the creative energy of the universe. Yeah. And just like channeling it. And I think there's a power, like a spiritual aspect to creating, especially at the highest level, where you're like, you know, you hear the stories of like artists that are like on 10 tabs of acid and just like shredding. You're like on a different spiritual plane.
They're tuning into some kind of frequency.
Yeah, I think there is that creative frequency.
I don't have these thoughts as if they're sort of concrete or like I don't, it's not like, to me it doesn't necessarily resemble something like that manifests itself in any sort of physical or even sort of like, I don't know, you know what I mean? It's not like it's more of just a way that I frame it. Yeah. Like the way that it feels can be described as something like a stream of creativity that you're just like dipping into every now and then. You know what I mean? That's the sensation.
I feel that. Do you feel like every year, like especially look like in 5 year segments, like your ability, like your cup is getting bigger, or is it like before, is it like trying to get water with your hands, and now do you feel like you can
Ah,
the process from the vision of a song to reality, I'm sure is much more efficient than it was like 6, 7, 8 years ago, right?
the I think it's less linear
Yeah.
than you're describing it as. I think it's more up and down, and
Mm.
you can't even really like you can't even really describe why you're in a creative mindset, but at times it's like the information's always there, but then I feel that the individual like myself puts without even really realizing, puts these barriers
For sure.
between sitting there and then actually just doing it. Like there's this
Mm.
weird resistance even after you sit down, which is like the what's the war of art, or the not the art of war, the war of art is like
Yeah.
the book about
Yeah.
just like sit down and do it. It's kind of
Yeah.
like almost like a
It's like the habit
it's
thing.
like a proto that book by Rick Rubin. What's it
Yeah.
called?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
What is it? Creativity. So anyway,
The creative
it was like
process.
it's like a
Yeah.
proto version of the book that's popular right now by
Yeah.
Rick Rubin. Oh yeah, Jamie, pull
Young
it up.
Jamie. The
Yeah,
creative act, a
the
way of
creative
being.
act. Yeah,
I haven't read it, but I've listened to a lot of his podcasts
I've been
talking about
listening
it.
to the audiobook
Yeah.
and it's good. I mean, it's just interesting to
Yeah.
listen to. But anyway, the point is that sitting down is one thing, but sometimes there still is this block, and I feel like there's so many different reasons, both tangible and also unidentifiable reasons why you can't just do it. Like you can't
Yeah.
just make. But the times that you're just making, you're just creating, it's the times where there's no resistance
Yeah.
and you're not thinking, right?
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people have said what I'm
Yeah.
saying, but
For sure.
it's just true. Yeah.
Have you, in this time where there's a block, have you like found ways to force through or like, like hack yourself into that? Or is it just like it happens when it happens?
Um, I
Because you
mean,
still make a lot of music. So clearly you're in.
I'm pretty creative right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, my output is not terrible. But uh I mean, I feel like there's a lot of examples I could give, but one I'll give is like literally just leaving the room and like going on. Sometimes I'll be sitting there, I'll be like, what? Like I can't think of a melody. Everything I'm playing and improvising sounds like shit. I'm digging through samples and things for hours for sources of inspiration. Nothing is coming up. And then I'll just be like, all right, I guess I'll walk my dog. And I go on a walk, and then it sounds so corny or
No.
almost like
Simplistic.
yeah, but like
Yeah.
literally, and then you just hear the
Yeah.
in your head, and then you're like, crap, I'm a half a mile from my house. I
Yeah.
gotta get back. And that doesn't work 100% of the time, but something as simple as that. And I think you and I were talking about, to get deeper, like in general, when you're stuck
Yeah.
in life, giving yourself space where you're not really doing, you're just
Yeah.
being,
Yeah.
it like the effortlessness of that somehow then creates the thing that you're about to put effort into or something.
Yeah.
It's like recharging a battery or
Yeah.
something. I mean, also a very common like um symbol for that,
For
recharging a
sure.
battery, but it's like, I don't know. It's just it counterintuitive. Not doing somehow helps me do.
And I've heard that so many things in like the podcasts and books I've read about creativity. Like, and it's a very common refrain where if you're trying to force it, whether it's a script, a joke, a song, a lyric, like you're forcing when you're actually trying to do something, it's a different part of your brain, right? It's the decision making, the thinking part, right? And sometimes you just get in that loop where you're like, I can't, like you're just stuck on the wall. And when you actually stop doing, whether you're in the shower or walking the dog, like there's other parts of your brain that are
Totally.
active, right?
Yeah.
Your brain's always active. It's
Yeah.
just a different.
Yeah.
And I'm not a
It-
I'm not Huberman.
No, no, no. I think it's
But that
yeah.
allows, like, getting away from it allows, whether it's subconscious or whatever part of your brain, to like just like feel it, and you're not thinking about it. But
it's like sometimes you sit there and then there's like this narrowing funnel of you're like trying things, and then you kind of keep getting stuck in this sort of dip, like and this like divot in creativity or something. Like you keep kind of
Mhm.
funneling into that, and what you really need is like sort of your brain to be wide open, like
Yeah.
if you're the concept of like the default mode network.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
kind of
Michael
connections.
Pollan's How to Change Your Mind.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
Yeah.
So the
I read that one.
connections that you build in your brain over your life kind of almost harden the way you think,
Path,
and kind
like
of
hardened path.
close your mind to like this kind of like unified open state where a lot of good stuff and relearning and recontextualizing the world around you and stuff can happen. And I think that, musically speaking, I'm not sure that this is the same, but
Yeah.
conceptually, like the idea that you can kind of get stuck in these creative pathways and you need something to open your mind up, I think anything, from meditation to walking around or whatever you need to do, can really do that for you. So
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, it's what's the Yoda quote? Like, there's no
Do or do not, there's no try.
what is that what it is?
Yeah, that's yeah.
Wait, that's the opposite of what I'm trying to
Yeah.
say. I
Don't
was gonna
try.
say, like, don't try, like, don't do,
Do or do
or
not,
no,
there is no
don't
try.
try, just do.
Yeah, don't try, just do.
Oh,
I mean, he's saying do or do not, there is no try. You're either doing it or you're not doing it. So when you're trying to doing it, that's like when you're forcing it, you're trying. But when you're making it, you're doing it. Maybe that's not the right. Maybe that's all right.
no, that was
We're gonna scrap this whole thing.
no. Do not try.
Yeah. Don't try. Do. Don't try. Just do it. It's funny. I don't know why. I feel the need to share this. The second thing that came up was 8 powerful quotes from Yoda, the OG wellness guru, which is on Medium, which is why no one goes on Medium anymore. Because Medium is
guru. He literally like drilled the shit out of Luke in the forests of Dagobah.
It's just
okay. He was. I don't think that was like a wellness retreat. It's not like they were like doing mud baths in the swamp.
No.
He was on his back. He was making him do flips. He blindfolded him and made him like shoot or swipe, like kind of hit.
It was like a
lasers
boot
out of the
camp.
sky.
Yeah.
Wellness guru.
That's why no one goes on Medium. That's why Substack's winning, because there's stupid ass articles. What else should we talk about?
Podcasts are weird.
Podcasts are weird, man. I feel like I went through all my questions, but I feel like there's other stuff
We literally are hanging out and we talk.
Yeah.
We've been talking about all different types of stuff, and now there's a camera.
Now there's camera.
Yeah.
So you have a new job, and it's in the music world. How does it feel versus in the past? I feel like you've had this separate lives of Kaptain and then Stephen Kaplan being all separate entities. It seems like it's kind of merged in a very new way, because especially the nature of this job, it being in a musical world, and a lot of your colleagues are in the musical world too.
Yeah. So I, generally speaking, have felt, especially in my younger years of entering the workforce, that I kind of like decided that there was this duality, and that there was like this part of me, like the music part, and there was sort of the work part of me, and I kind of leaned into that. And you actually have seen kind of the worst of that, or I don't know if I need to say worse, but like you've seen the most amplified version of that, where it's hard for me to kind of bring myself together and into one person that just happened to have multiple facets of their life. And so regardless of the fact that my current day job is a software engineering job in music technology, I generally speaking, I've been trying to feel more like whole regardless of that. Like, even if my job wasn't something completely different, and even just sharing parts of my life with my coworkers was an exercise.
In your past job too.
Being like, hey, I'm going to Michigan to play a gig at an electronic music festival or something. And it's like, wait, why do you do that? And trying to be more vulnerable about that part of myself. Is something that I was trying to do anyway. But yeah, I mean, when you're working on software that's like in the kind of cutting edge music technology space, and people are like pulling up music production windows to demo the software that we're working on.
You can shout out the company if you want.
I recently started as a senior software engineer at Splice, and working on some machine learning stuff.
So any producers, musicians out there, it's a very cool tool.
Splice, what is Splice? Splice basically has built most of their business on the fact that they have a massive sample catalog for use in music production, like even things like podcasting, movie scoring, things like that, but mainly music production and music songwriting. And that's kind of how they've made their name and made their money. But recently, with the advent of very cutting edge generative machine learning models, the possibilities for what you can make in music have kind of expanded. And I can't say exactly what we're working on, but to the extent that it's public, that like we've hired machine learning researchers and machine learning engineers and stuff. There's something that we're working on that kind of, it starts to kind of figure out what's the kind of vision for music making in the future. And there are companies that are click button solutions to making music, like literally text prompt, make
Oh
me a
yeah, I've seen
funk
it.
song with a
We did a
saxophone.
Acta Isher Betty hip hop AI song. Neil did it.
But
I'll send it to you. It was like a couple months ago, and I'm like, this is scary good.
I would love to hear
I will
that.
send it. I
Yeah.
will show you.
Throwback. This is a song that was created. The lyrics were created in high school, and now AI is bringing it to life in
Yeah,
a way
it's
that it
crazy.
never has. That's beautiful.
And it's like it sounds like a dude rapping, and the lyrics are like kind of clever. You're like, wow, this is scary.
That's awesome. Well, so that's not what Splice is doing. But yeah, I mean, basically like our CEOs talked about it publicly and whatnot, but we are trying to build creative workflows that are powered by very specific applications of generative AI and very specific models that serve very specific purposes to kind of create tools that haven't been created before. But I think I yeah, it's like a whole can of worms to talk about.
We don't need to get into
but I mean, that's a whole other conversation. It's AI, ethics, music, all creativity, all that. But I like what we're up to, and I feel like it is like interesting and still puts like the human creator first. I don't know. I guess I'll leave what we're doing. That
let's go back to the personal and the
exactly. I mean, but even though I've been trying to kind of feel whole in general and treat all the parts of my life as parts of a singular existence, it makes it pretty easy when you wake up every day and the thing that you're building is related to music production.
Yeah, and if you're going to a gig, it's like very normal.
Yeah. In fact, I actually shared to that point, the YouTube video that we talked about, Kaptain live at Spectra Art Space, that came out today, I shared it like on Slack with like a large channel of people.
Wow.
And I was just like, if I'm gonna share this with any employer or colleagues or whatever, it's gonna be it's gonna be at Splice. I mean, my manager told me that I have fat beats with a PH. That was pretty
that's
chill.
how old is he or she?
I don't actually know.
Oh, our age, older?
He's more seasoned than I as an engineer, but I don't know how old he is.
Fat beats. That's a very 90s term, but I fuck with that.
Yeah. I mean,
you do have fat beats.
I mean, thank you.
They're very groovy. Groovy, baby. We just watched Austin Powers yesterday. It's funny.
Groovy, baby.
I feel the same. I feel a lot of similarities there because I, as you know, was doing a lot of comedy and I was doing the podcast back in 2020 and into 2021 because I moved to DC and COVID, and it was like, this was like a perfect time to like moving from the Bay where we used to live. It was like a perfect reset of like, all right, I'm in a new place. I'm going to do the things that I really care about. And then when I joined the DOE, I like stopped all of that stuff. I stopped the podcast. I stopped the comedy. I wanted to focus on work. It was a really cool, it was a dream job, as you know. I love that job, and I feel like it was everything I really could have hoped for. Like we literally wrote bills in high school at the debate club. Went down to DC and talked about nuclear policy and clean energy shit back in 2009, like, which was wild. And at the LPO, we were literally doing clean energy policy and large scale projects, and it was like,
as I have always said to you, knowing that there's people like you in the deep state makes me a little bit less.
There's a lot, there's some good people in the deep state. They get a bad rap.
I feel like working in the federal government, like, because it's like, I mean, loosely tied to terms and things. I mean, even though there are like career,
it's inherently political-ish, even though it's not supposed to.
No. But what I'm trying to say is, it's almost like you did like a tour of duty.
I did,
and,
for sure.
And it's kind of like a public service duty tour. I mean,
that's exactly it. A lot of
and basically, like, the fact that you kind of went into it like, I'm going to go all in for 4 years or 4 or 5 years, whatever it was.
3.5.
Makes 3.5, really? Oh, okay. You started after Biden was elected?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, so let's just say 4. I
Yeah,
was right.
4. Yeah.
Um,
Sorry.
uh, I feel like yeah, like it almost makes sense that and I feel like you told me this. You sort of were like, I want to like soak up this experience. I
Yeah.
want to like fully be this experience, and
Yeah.
it kind of makes sense that your creative side maybe took a
Took a
break.
pause.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and again, it was never like something I knew I would stop forever. It was like this is like there's different sides of you, and in that point, I joined in October of 2021, and it was a awesome, exciting time. We were passing a lot of legislation, not me, Congress, but and now that's all whatever. We don't need to get into the details of policy, but there was a lot of clean energy policy that was passed in 2021 and
Yeah.
2022. My office specifically was authorized literally hundreds of billions of dollars to do
You guys were
loans.
just
We were making it rain,
making it rain
little
on,
Wayne,
on renewable
yeah,
energy
yeah,
and critical mineral
and
projects.
all sorts EV batteries,
Yeah.
fertilizers, all sorts of stuff. It was genuinely one of the coolest jobs on the planet. I got to go to a lot of conferences. I spoke at events, and even in DC, I was going to a lot of happy hours.
Brief the White House.
Brief the White House and Congress and Senate and the House about different renewable energy and critical minerals things. It was a fucking dope job, and it's a really cool place. A lot of wonderful people there. But by the end of it, I think especially after the election, we had a really busy period post election, and with the new administration, as soon as stuff shifted, I was like, okay, I think this job is not what it used to be, and it's still a great place with wonderful people, but I was ready to like scratch that creative itch, and literally like the podcast was the thing that I was more excited about than stand up, really, because stand up was really fun, but it's a lot of work. You got to go to a bar 4 nights a week and sit for 3 hours and do 5 minutes, and like I wasn't ready at this point to like do that and like do that time commitment. With the podcast, I feel like I get to use my humorous side, but also like actually get deeper into topics, talk to interesting people, both my friends, but also strangers and low level
Yeah.
celebrities and comedians and
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah.
And I love it. And back to the earlier point,
Did you have Sean Patton? No,
so side story, really sad.
Oh,
Sean Patton.
sensitive?
No, it's not sad. I mean, it's just like I'm sad personally because
Oh.
I DM Sean Patton, who's a wonderful, hilarious comedian. He has a show on Hulu as well. That I forget. That some English teacher, AP. It's a school related show. I haven't
Okay.
seen it.
I didn't realize he had a show. That's
Yeah,
cool.
he's a character on a show
Okay.
on Hulu. Hilarious, really nice guy. Back in 2021, he came to DC, and I DM'd him. I just started my podcast. I'm like, hey Sean, I'm doing a podcast. Like, would love to do an episode with you. I went to see him. He's really funny, but this was early post COVID. It was a very empty show. So me, him, and I think it was a first date actually with a girl, went and got a drink after the show. So I have like a picture with him.
I've seen the picture. That's why I thought of it.
And we were hanging out, and then we did a Zoom recording, and the recording got corrupted.
No.
So I was really bummed, but
Damn,
would love
that
to.
sucks.
I will DM you again, Sean, and we will meet again, and we'll do another pod.
Damn, that's a very sad story.
But it's still cool. Like what's cool about that, even though the episode is gone forever in somewhere in the computer ether, is that
we could like be Tron, like we could do Tron. And
we could.
And uncover
You're the AI
the
machine learning guy, so you can extract it.
the like kind of the hidden like messed up audio we can find.
Yeah, we can find the corrupted.
On like electronic
Zoom server.
motorcycles.
Yeah,
And Daft.
I would be down, and you'll make the soundtrack.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Don't get me started on Daft Punk.
Yeah, no, literally a full 2-hour pod on Daft Punk and the history. Anyways, what's cool about that is like something I didn't feel from stand up was like with the podcast, even just having an Instagram with like a couple hundred followers and making a logo and all that stuff, just messaging people that I admire that were doing really cool stuff. They would respond. Like I got Nimesh Patel on, I got Neil Nanda on, rest in peace. And people like Sean also responded. I also got to meet them in real life through that. So I was like, that's why this is such a cool project and platform for me, is like, oh, and actually not only can I talk to people like you that I've known my whole life, but I can also talk to people that that are strangers, that are celebrities or creatives.
Or like excel in their field.
Yeah, people that excel. Yeah, it doesn't need to be celeb, but people that really, really excel in their field and are doing high level stuff and just kind of having that access. But sorry, the final point I was trying to make is I'd never really talked about comedy or podcast at DOE. Also, like, I wasn't saying anything
Oh,
too
interesting.
crazy, but I was like, I
Federal
work for the government,
government.
federal government,
I mean, I
taxpayer.
feel like people in the current federal government say pretty
I
crazy shit.
mean, well, we're
But...
not gonna, yeah, we're not gonna go there.
Oh, I'm just saying objectively.
Yeah, objectively,
I think
yes.
they enjoy saying crazy shit,
Objectively, yes,
and
they
sometimes
enjoy.
it's kind of funny, but sometimes it's not.
Yes, that is fair. But it was a little different in the last admin, and I just, I was like, this is like that was my comedy podcast thing, and I wasn't hiding it, but I wasn't publicizing it. And then when I left DOE, I was like, I'm really proud of this thing, and I want to like almost merge, integrate, like Severance, integrate the personalities.
Nice.
So I did post
Just
about
watched
my
that
first.
episode.
Oh, great! I love
Oh, I just
Severance. I
finished
could
the
go.
second season.
Oh yeah,
That's
I could
what I
go
meant.
for an hour on Severance
Yeah.
too. That's my new post Game of Thrones, most obsessed I've been with the show. With
Really?
Severance.
Oh, I didn't know you were that into it.
YouTube rabbit hole.
Really?
All about
There's
it.
a YouTube rabbit hole for Severance?
Oh yeah.
What is it? Like
I'll
people
show you later.
analyzing stuff?
Oh, we could watch it. It's actually worth it.
What is it?
It's a guy. You know those guys that analyze the TV show scene by scene and they tell you what everything
They kind of
means?
react to it or whatever.
Not just reacting, but actually assessing and telling you why this is happening.
Okay.
But even the cinematography being like, this is blue and this is red because inside is blue and outside
how
is
do they
red.
know?
There's nerds.
No, but like, okay, it's like I always can I just vent about something?
Yeah.
It's like when we read books in high school. Or
Oh, the
whatever,
English teacher?
and they're like
Miss O'Halloran.
analyze it and like this means this, and it's like I was always like, how the fuck do you know what the author was thinking?
That's a very fair point. Maybe the chair was just fucking blue.
They're
I
like,
agree.
look for metaphors.
I think
It's like
that's
sometimes
fair.
you're just
Well,
writing words on a page.
I think that's 100% fair. There was definitely a lot of stretching with certain
Yeah.
English teachers
Yeah.
that we had.
Yeah.
But some things made a lot of sense as well.
Yeah,
right?
it's true.
So,
And also, I guess
is
you could
Moby
argue,
Dick just about a whale, or is there something else there?
I don't know. I've never read it.
I know, me neither. Me neither. But that's like an analogy, like my white whale. Like your big thing that you're chasing. Your life's work.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. And I guess also, even if it's not what the author meant. Oh,
Yeah.
even if it's not what the author meant, I guess it's a way of just trying to understand it and
For
use
sure.
it to motivate conversations about things or whatever.
Yeah, and maybe someone's writing, like the writer isn't doing it consciously, but subconsciously enough people catch on to some theme and it means something to them. And
Like-
that takes me away
Like
from
something that resonates with me with music, and I like a lot of sort of instrumental. Once again, Pretty Lights is a great example. There's often not lyrics, and then if there's lyrics, they're just short samples. And like the thing that struck me about that music when I started to first listen to it was that it made me feel something, and it had meaning to me, and yet the feelings and the meaning weren't easy to describe.
it. Yeah.
It just was a intangible kind of
Yeah.
ethereal sort of just general feeling of I still
Yeah.
can't put it to words, but there, like, the meaning of it was just that it was happening and it had a certain vibe and the people around were enjoying it in unison, but it
It's
didn't have
joy.
like
Yeah.
didn't have like a critical meaning,
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I know that obviously, like, literature, it's way easier to extract meaning from
Sure.
it, but than instrumental music. But I don't know. I feel like I'm drawn to art that doesn't always have a point.
Yeah, but I also think with art, like there is always the person receiving it. So there's two pieces of it, right? And I think the people receiving it when you're Pretty Lights show, whether it's a 10-person after party or 10,000
Sure.
at Red Rocks, you're part of the art when you're in the audience, especially with stand-up comedy. You're literally part of it. But people dancing, that is part of the experience.
I 100% agree. And it's interesting about performing is like when you're in the crowd with the people, I feel like the sort of synesthesic experience,
Yeah, the
all
energy.
the lights and the energy and just the feelings that are hard to describe when you're in a group of people that are reacting to a certain type of music feels like a more connected experience. And ironically, when you're the one creating that experience, the barrier of your gear and the stage between you and the audience often feels like there's a bit of distance there.
Yeah.
Especially when you have in-ear monitors
For
and
sure.
like, you're hearing your own.
You're
mix of
focused on
music,
the making
and you're
not the
even,
receiving.
you're not even really experiencing what they're experiencing.
No, not at all.
And so it's interesting because once again, Pretty Lights, he has a lot of technology on stage these days, like more than ever. And one thing that he has is he has literally computer screen or a TV screen that is just the view of the show from the audience.
Hmm.
So he can actually see what
What
the
they're
audience is
seeing. Yeah.
experiencing. And I feel like if I were to guess, the reason he probably did that is so that he could bridge that gap.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense when you think
Yeah.
about it.
Because he's putting on a crazy, insane show with the lights and
Yeah, and you want to
technology.
know how it's
What are
all
they?
playing
Yeah.
together. But yeah, I never thought about it that way. Like how I feel like actually the audience is getting the most holistic two-way experience more
Yeah.
than the artist at times or the performer.
It's different, right? Like
Yeah.
I think about the analogy with comedy where it's like I was not doing comedy for a very long time. It was a few years, but I was like, I don't know, like the point of comedy is surprise, right? People laugh when they're surprised or there's like a joy there or shock. And I can't be surprised by my own punchline. So it's like I can never fully appreciate my own jokes. The only way is to like
And
do
comedy's
it
hard because you have to somehow create the authentic, even though people know it's not the first time you've said
Yeah.
the thing, you have to somehow convey as if it's
Yeah.
the first time you've said that thing.
Yeah, that's the advice I've heard. It's like, you gotta tap into the energy when you wrote that joke because people
Yeah.
are telling jokes hundreds of times, sometimes even more.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it gets old, but you're like, I think you enjoy the reaction of an audience hearing it for the first time. But yeah, it's like I can never fully experience a joke because I know exactly where it's going.
Yeah, it's sort of a paradox, I guess, right?
Yeah. But the point being, the Severance YouTube channels are actually really good. And I'd love to show you.
Is that how we got into that?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I'm
There,
interested.
no, yeah. Season 2 finale had some mix. I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was really well done. I also think it's one of those shows. Not to talk too much Severance.
We can talk about Severance.
I
I mean, we won't spoil, but
yeah, I mean, it is one of those shows where I found that watching the YouTube video actually enhanced the experience because it's such a complicated show and there's so many little details and it feels like a show made for the internet age. Like I don't think they would have made the show 30 years ago because there's freeze frames and there's things that like you literally would only appreciate if you can rewatch it or you could watch it at home and pause it. And it's just like I think it's brilliant and well thought out to a point where I don't think shows were like that 30 years ago.
how do you think that they were able to, like, do you know that how there's just that aesthetic to the show?
Yeah.
That is in such contrast to, without giving too much away, there's scenes that feel a little bit more real or a little more like relatable.
Yeah.
Especially as the second season goes on, there's some flashbacks and things in general.
But the flashback episode has a different tone to it. I don't know if you remember that.
Right. But
yeah.
Without saying
Literally, no, I mean, yeah, it's fine. It's not a spoiler. And
it's
been out for like 6 months, but
I know, but I watched things like years after.
It has a visual, the flashback episode has a visual tone to it that is completely different.
But right. So it's in contrast to that, but like, I don't even know, like the whole surreal aesthetic of things, like, that to me is the most mystifying part of the show.
I think that means it's working.
Yeah.
I think it's like, literally, what year is this? Is this in the past or the future?
Well, don't they all drive old cars?
They all drive old cars, and I don't see iPhones and other things like that.
But the feeling of things in a way is still current.
It feels current or even futuristic.
Yeah.
That's what I think it's confusing on purpose.
So did these
also
YouTube
shout out
videos-
New Jersey, filmed in New Jersey.
Is it really?
Industries, yes.
Where is it again?
I don't know exactly where, but
Is it like Bell's old office or something? What is it?
Where's Severance? Bell Works building in Homedale.
Yeah, nice.
Homedale, not that far from where we grew up.
Yeah. I forgot it was in New Jersey. That's funny.
It's very office building, it's giving New Jersey as the case.
It's a cool campus though.
Yeah. But if you watch the YouTube breakdowns, like there's so much going on. It almost feels like a movie where every frame and everything they do, every color is super intentional. I think Ben Stiller, kind of wild that he made this, given like
very impressive.
Yeah,
I love when
goat.
people who've had like long comedic sort of silly careers to get into serious business.
And it's like, I think people are always surprised, and it keeps Jordan Peele, Adam Scott, Ben Stiller, and then Bob Odenkirk is like a fucking action star now with all
Incredible
these nobody.
Yeah.
And Better Call Saul and
Breaking Bad.
But he was literally like an improv legend in the 90s.
Of course.
So yeah, respect. Shout out to all the comedians fucking showing their serious side.
Yeah.
Nick Offerman in Last of Us.
Oh yeah, that was incredible. I think it just shows that in your artistic career you can evolve and do different stuff.
Exactly.
You know? Like I I am focused on just making dance music right now,
Yeah,
basically. But I could see. I mean,
a lot of
if
pyro for
someone
you
was
one day.
like,
Just kidding.
if no, that's not what
I
I
know,
was.
I
I
know.
spend my
I'm
money on
joking.
like 20 lasers
I
before
know, a
I'd
lot of
spend it on
lasers.
pyro.
I know. It's a
Um,
joke.
but uh,
So dance
uh,
music right now.
oh yeah. But like if somebody like sent an email and was like, I'm making an indie movie and we have kind of a budget and like
That would be
we
sick,
want an
dude.
electronic score or something, I would consider it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know. Like I feel like that's kind of like the cool thing about a creative career too, especially when you stick with it for longer than a few years, is that you can. It doesn't have to be one thing or another.
Yeah.
But it's still kind of like when I heard it was Ben Stiller that produced it, I was just like, wait, really?
Yeah. Kind of
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
I think about that, and I talked about this with my friend in other podcasts about like Jordan Peele going from Key and Peele to Get Out, and it's like it on the surface it seems surprising, but if you go back and watch Key and Peele, they only did 3 seasons, but the directing, the costume, the setting, every sketch was like high tailored, high production value, and even the storylines and stuff. They used a lot of like sci-fi and horror stuff. So clearly, what I think about from the creative side is like you're adding tools to your tool belt, and it's like maybe you're just building a desk right now, but you have the tools to build something else, right? And I think of like Ludwig, Donald Glover, Childish Gambino's main collaborator from back in the day. He scored Oppenheimer and won a fucking Oscar. I'm
Wait,
pretty sure.
what?
Ludwig, you know
He's
Ludwig.
producer,
He's he did the score for Oppenheimer.
but he
He was
Childish
he was
Gambino's
Childish
producer.
Gambino's producer. Yeah,
That's sick.
you know those like YouTube like Triple J videos where he does like live songs and stuff.
I
Ludwig's
know
like
like
playing
Triple
guitar.
J. What's it called?
Yeah,
Like a
like a
version.
version. Yeah,
Yeah,
so he does that. Ludwig's in the background playing guitar.
really, that's
Yeah,
sick.
yeah.
Nice.
I think he's in some episodes of
I don't
Community
know if
too.
I've seen Childish Gambino's like a version. What does he cover?
I'll show you.
What is it
To me,
though?
is "So Into You." It's
What
a
is it?
classic R&B
Oh,
song. "So
oh,
Into
yeah,
You."
yeah.
Incredible. I'll show it. One of
That's
my
sick.
favorite, literally one of my favorite YouTube videos
Nice.
on the planet.
That's sick.
All right, we're like at an hour. I feel like we have a good
Yeah, let's do it.
stopping point. Can you tell people where to find you on the internet?
Yeah, absolutely. So Instagram at I am Kaptain with a K. And then you can get to a bunch of my links from there through my bio. If you're gonna check out one thing right now, I'd say definitely go to YouTube and check out Kaptain live at Spectra Art Space.
We'll definitely link to that.
Yeah.
And I'll even maybe if we do a YouTube, throw a little clip in
Yeah.
to the beginning of the YouTube or something.
Yeah, I think if you go to my Instagram, you can kind of find everything else there. So
All right, awesome. You can find me hitting up the pod, Instagram and Gmail. Thank you for tuning in. And Steve, Kaptain, love you.
you
It's
too,
a lot
man.
of fun.
Yeah, hell yeah.